Yeah. I just hope he doesn't get distracted.
What do you mean?
He's just not his usual type.
Well, what's his usual type? He doesn't like meet girls online all the time, does he?
No. Oh no, nothing like that. Sean is a usual fella. He likes the makeup and the sexy clothes, but maybe he's settling down.
You're watching a clip from a new film on human trafficking called Ring of Silence. It is a 90-minute feature film that describes how everyday teens can be lured into the sex trafficking trade. And we are joined by writer-director Nicole Bowers-Wallace and actors Brian J. O'Donnell and Jordan McKinley-Hodges. Thank you all for joining us today. We're going to just start with you. Tell me what inspired you to write this.
I was approached by a group of women that were on the Human Sex Trafficking Task Force. And they had seen some of my films, and they said, what would you think about doing a film on sex trafficking? And at the time, I thought, I didn't know much about it. I thought that it was something that was happening overseas. I thought it was somebody being picked up on the side of the street in a van. So I decided to do some research. And once I met with the FBI and police and spoke with victims, I knew I had to do this movie. I knew I had to get this message out there.
Wow, and that is where the name Ring of Silence comes in, because you just said something, which is, I think, how we all feel. You didn't really know too much about it, right?
Exactly, exactly. And it is such a silent epidemic, and the magnitude and scope of how it's happening across America, it's just something I knew I had to get out to parents, teens, and communities.
And this is probably just going to blow our mind as we watch this. So let's start with both of you. Tell us what your role is in this movie and the character that you play, and really kind of what you learned from this, too.
Yeah, it was definitely a learning experience. I play Sean in the movie. He's the good guy, bad guy, who you definitely don't want to get lured into in real life, which is a very real thing that happens. So
and you meet this young woman.
Yes, yeah, I meet her. I interact with her online. I ask her out on a few dates, get her feeling comfortable, and then the downhill starts to occur.
Wow. Okay, and where does your role come in, Jordan?
Well, I play Antoine in the film, and he plays a very pivotal role. And the fact that in real life I can walk away from this and other people can't, is just scary.
So it was a learning experience for you?
Yes, it was.
So you went into this role as an actor, but you came out thinking what?
Man, I just thought people really can't get out of a situation like this. They're being held against their own will.
Which is unbelievable, back to your point, that this isn't happening just overseas, that this is happening here in the United States of America, in our suburban neighborhoods. If you can give me an example of what we're talking about, what would that be? Just as far as the character goes.
Well, I think that is what's going to surprise everybody with Ring of Silence, is that it is happening in the suburbs. There is no race or gender or economics that can really hide the situation. All of our youth are under attack because the main way that this is happening is through the internet. And of course, so many teens are attached to their phones and they're attached to the internet, and that's how these predators are finding and getting access to our youth.
So it's happening to young men, young women. Once they've gotten a hold of them, what happens to them?
There's this whole process, which I didn't realize. There's a process where they're courted for 6 months. So it's, I find you on the internet, oh, you're super cute, I know somebody from your school, I date you for 6 months, you fall in love with me, you're dependent, and then I have you in a situation where I now lead you into this world.
So it's that long of a process, they gain their trust.
Yes, it can be 6 months or more in this courting process, and I think that's what people don't realize. It's not just I met you and you're trafficked tomorrow, it's you've created a relationship with me.
Well, you both are young men. Were you ever exposed to anything like this in your everyday life? It almost seems impossible. So how is this happening?
Yeah, I mean, you think sex trafficking, you think on your front lawn and someone in a white van comes in and snatches you up and takes you away, but it's really more nuanced and more technological these days with social media, Instagram, Facebook. All of those accesses are ways that you can neutrally try and make this relationship without ever coming across as someone bad, because it's all...
So Nicole, what do you want people to walk away with from this?
I want parents to understand the scope and magnitude of how this is happening, and I want teens to know the signs. I want, if someone doesn't show up from school, if someone seems withdrawn, if you see some sort of markings like barcode tattoos, if you see someone's had a big change of personality, these are all things that are happening. It's happening in suburbs all across America, and I want people to realize that.
Incredible. Okay, and when can people see the movie?
It will be out on Amazon Prime this Friday.
Is there a website we can go to learn more?
Yes, www.ringofsilencemovie.com.
Okay, and Jordan, final question to you. What do you hope people get out of this?
That they need to be more aware of their surroundings.
Well, I think you guys are going to be doing that. I can't wait to see the movie. It sounds like something that is not only riveting, but I think educational, and that's your goal. So
yes.
Thanks for coming in and sharing. Great
Thank
to meet
you.
all of you guys.
Yes,
Looking
thank
forward
you.
to seeing this. And when we come back here at Fox 32 News at noon, one of the